Hey there, my name's Bren Vanderswag. I'm president of GutterExperts.com and founder of GutterCon, which is being held this week in Florida, Orlando, February 10th to 12th at the Gaylord Palms Resort and Convention Center. I love to chat with people in the gutter industry, suppliers, inventors, manufacturers, and gutter guys and gals just like you and me. I enjoy finding out about how they got into the business, where they came from, and what their businesses are doing in the gutter industry today. Please meet my guest for today, John Gauthier.
Gauthier, yes, sir.
Okay, located in, oh my gosh, I have Titusville, Florida. John's been a gutter installer for 12 years and works for Gutter King in Cocoa, Florida. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing good, Brent. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Okay, so the very first thing we have to talk about is the fact that you have Canadian roots. And I can tell just by looking at you, you look like a Canadian from Quebec is where you look like you're from.
Yeah.
Where's your roots from?
Well, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm Canadian. I love the fact that I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
But my grandmother was born in Saskatchewan, and
Yeah.
she married my husband from California. But
Did
he
you
ended
just
up
say she married your husband?
married her husband.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. This is the first
No
Zoom call.
problem.
But yeah, so she found this guy in California, and he was an athlete. He actually played a little football for the LA Rams at the time.
Okay.
And she got him to move back to Canada with her, and he ended up having a career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and won a Grey Cup. His
Wow.
name was Doug Gauthier, as you guys say it.
Yeah,
Um,
Goche. So how do you pronounce it? Get that out of the way.
well, my family's been like, from they're California and Florida, so they always said Gauthier.
Gauthier.
But I always knew, because I would have other people come up to me and say, Gauthier, that's Gautier, and
Goche.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. But yeah, I just been so long, and that's what I go by.
And that must be French, a French name, huh?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, finish telling your story about your grandmother and the football player.
Yeah, so he went out there, they had a good life, they had some kids. My grandpa won the Grey Cup. I think it was like in the 40s. They actually have a book about him, Winnipeg Blue Bombers book, and he's mentioned in it.
Really?
It's just really cool, and yeah,
Looks
and
like you could be a football player by the size of you.
I need to lose a little weight. I've been kind of
Me too.
slacking as far as working out, but I've always been a big eater. I love food, and so it's kind of hard for me to be
Yeah,
anything bigger than, like, I've never been a skinny guy. I've just loved food too much.
buddy, I feel you. I feel you. What do you weigh?
You about 220, and I'm only 5'8", but I go up
Oh,
and down
we're
the
the
ladder.
same size, man. I'm a little bit bigger than you. I'm not even 5'8". I'm 5'7" and a half.
Oh well, I could be fibbing a half inch. Who knows?
Okay, cool. Well, we'll soon find out.
Yeah, we will.
So I got to ask you too. You're 40 years old. I'm 51. I've had a beard before, never like what you have. And I know you're in Florida. Long hair, beard. I mean, how do you deal with the heat?
Well, I
It's
put
not
the hair.
hot?
Yeah, it's brutal. It is brutal, but I deal with that in exchange of removing this and letting people see exactly what's going on here,
Oh,
because
really?
it's just not a pretty sight. I need to lose weight, and I feel
Just
like
hiding that double chin?
yeah, of course,
Yeah. Okay. Well, it
It's
works.
triple. It could be four under there.
My wife likes me with a beard, but I just can't handle it. I did it for 30 days in November one year, and I just can't do it. Just
The
can't
no
do it.
shave. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, tell us a little bit about, well, let me, the reason we're on here today, because I heard about you on one of the Facebook groups, one of the gutter groups. I can't remember what group it was, but you have had some health issues in the last just like less than 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
that's kind of why we're chatting today. So I just wanted to bring that up because some guys watch for the first 5 minutes and then tune out, but I want everyone to, maybe stick around a little bit here. So we're going to talk about what's happening in your life, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into the gutter business? You've been in the gutter business for 12 years?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so graduating high school, I was like 18,
Yeah.
and I really had no direction. I was going from job to job, and I was just kind of reaching out to anybody and everybody. And my uncle ended up calling me one time, and he's like, "I think I got a good job for you." And of course, I'm
Mhm.
like, I'd heard this a couple times. I said, I'll check it out, see what it is. And there's this place in Melbourne, Florida, called Gale Insulation. You wouldn't think they do seamless gutters, but they actually had a gutter division.
Yep.
And
Well, you know why gutter guys do insulation is because they don't want to do gutters in the winter, so they do insulation.
yeah, we don't have that problem down here in Florida.
Well, that's true. You wouldn't, would you? Yeah.
No, you don't want to be in an attic anytime down here. It's
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, so I started doing gutters and like fell in love with it right away.
Yeah.
The
What did you like about it?
I like the freedom. I like being able to go out and measure something and put gutters up and make customers happy. You put gutters on someone's house, it's almost, I always say, like it's almost like crown molding for the outside. It puts this beautiful fine edge on your house. It just makes it pop. I mean, you see all the edges, and it really just, I just love sitting back after an install, looking at it and be like, man, I improved this house so much. And
Hey,
not only did I improve it, but now we can direct the rainwater somewhere where they're not
yeah.
getting flooded in this area, or they need to do some undergrounds in this area. So I just love being outside, and I love being outside, nature, and work with my hands. And it's really
Mm.
fun. I loved every second of it.
Oh, well, that's cool to hear. You know what I always say?
What's that?
Gutters are the jewelry on your house.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to start
Yeah.
using that. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
that.
Let me know every time you use that sentence and I'll send you a bill.
Okay, I will do that.
I wish I could register it, trademark it.
You should.
It's funny. One of our speakers at GutterCon is Tommy Mello, and he is a garage door guy. He does about $200 million a year in the garage door business, and I think his saying is registered. Your garage door is the smile on your house, and I always say, but the gutters are the jewelry on the house. So
You guys should team up.
yeah, we are teaming up. You're going to meet him next week.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so you've been in the business, you love the gutter business. You worked for a couple companies by the sounds of it, always in Florida.
Yeah, I've been pretty much stuck in Florida my whole life. I say stuck, but it's a lifestyle. We love it down here. It's
Yeah.
hot, but I've worked for about three gutter companies. The gutter company I'm with now, which is really funny. I actually worked for this company like when I was 19,
Mhm.
and now I'm 40. So it's kind of come full circle to get back to this company. And then just with all the things that have happened, it's really, I don't know. It's almost like maybe I don't know. It's just a weird
Meant to
thing, but
be.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that I ended up back at Gutter King, and they treat me real well there, and they love me. And I mean, I've only, with all these doctor visits and stuff I've been going through, and all this stress, he's been more than understanding, and
Accommodating, good.
it's made it a little easier, less stress, and I think
Yeah.
stress has been what's really bothering me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since we're at that point, why don't you just tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today? I think you recently switched companies just in the new year.
Yeah.
Tell us about, what happened and how you came to find out what your health issue was.
Yeah, so I've been back at Gutter King for like 2 or 3 months now. Well, since the first of the year. I think I got back the first year there, and it was just like getting back on a bike with that company per se. It was real nice. I knew a majority of the guys already from years back, and I just got right back in, and
Mhm.
work was going good. We're installing every day. We're doing good, and I think it was one Thursday night or Friday night, I started having this terrible headache, radiating down the back of my head. And the headache lasts 7 days straight. It never goes away. I took ibuprofen. It kind of took it from an 8 to a 6, where I could kind of be able to install gutters and do whatever I had to do, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And
Was it
after like
like all day, like never went away?
never. I mean, I like in the middle of, I would take breaks, put like a cold towel around my neck, massage my head, the back of my head, anything I could to try to relieve the pain. And
Mhm.
it was unbearable. Every day I was coming back to the shop, and they knew, everybody knew I had a headache. because I complained about it all day, every day, and everybody knew about it. So
Yeah.
day seven, I said, I got home from work. I said, I got to figure out what's going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I rush into I go to the ER and tell them to give me a CAT scan, please.
Because
Problem is,
you were worried, were you?
oh man, like I've had a headache for a day, and that, people get headaches, but for 7 days straight, I mean, my blood pressure was shooting up. I was nervous wreck. I literally thought I was gonna die any minute. I'm like, I have to go see a doctor. And the weird thing is, I've been healthy for 40 years straight. I've never even broke a bone.
Mm.
Been pretty healthy, besides a little overweight, but I mean, I move around like a
Yeah.
linebacker, like.
Yeah.
So after getting this CAT scan, they realized that I have a tumor in the back of my occipital part of my. I'm sorry if you can hear that, occipital part of my brain. And yeah, it was eye opening. The doctor came in, he told me about it for about 2 minutes, walked out, and I'm sitting there in the hospital bed for like 20, 30 minutes, like with all these questions and all these concerns, and scared to death. And he comes in and tells
You're
me
all
if
by
there's.
yourself, like you took yourself to the hospital.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of guy that doesn't want to bother anybody with my problems. My girlfriend Sam just started a new job. She's a little stressed with that, so I didn't even tell her. I went to the hospital and just kind of tried to figure it out on my own. And then once she was getting off, I told her and let her know everything was going on. And she was a mess. I was a mess.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't. It's just tough because I'm the eldest of my family at 40. I don't have my mother anymore. Or never met my father, that was okay because my mother was such a good mother up to about 15 or whatever. But
You lost
anywho,
your mom at 15?
I lost her at 19. She started doing drugs when I was 15. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and lost her, but it was the weirdest thing because from my whole life to about 15 years old, she was the best mother. She was a mom and a dad to me. I played baseball, I did karate, I did everything a young boy in Florida would do. And she ended up meeting this guy, and it just kind of ruined her. And she turned into a person I didn't even know who she was. It was very sad. But
Wow. Awful to
you
hear
know,
that.
I've dealt with bumps in the road my whole life, but this bump was the biggest bump I've ever dealt with. And
Mm.
yeah, so I found out that I have a tumor in the back of my head. That I took an MRI, and they found out that he wants to look at my body now to make sure there's no tumors in my body that may have moved up. I have to get looked at again in 6 weeks. So without insurance, like, the stress is just overwhelming. I mean, just thinking about my health, and I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die, but it's just a lot to deal with. I didn't sleep the past 8 days.
So
What I
this
do is,
literally was just like last week.
yeah, I mean, this just happened. This is fresh in my life. It threw the biggest curveball in my life. Nothing can prepare you for news like this. I
Mm.
mean, it's terrible, but I've always been through some tough times, so I try to stay positive because I don't. If I didn't stay positive, I'd probably go crazy. You
Mm.
know. So I just try to push forward, try to continue to do what I can control,
Mm.
and whatever I can't control, it's going to happen regardless. So I
Yeah.
just try to be positive, make people happy, love my girlfriend, make myself as happy as I can be, and just push on. And we're just going to have to see what happens. My anxiety's through the roof. To
I
be
know
honest
when
with you,
we
the
I know
future.
when we chatted here a couple days ago, yeah, I could tell you certainly sound better today. And I guess the other thing is that the doctor prescribed some steroids for you, which is certainly helping with
Oh,
your headache, right?
yeah. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what would be going on. I've been taking these steroids for like 10 days now, and
Mm.
it's got the headache gone, but like, man, I can still feel quite a bit of pressure in my head. But it's way easier to deal with that than those headaches that I was having. It was excruciating. It was terrible. I can't imagine having that. I can't believe I did it for 7 days. I really can't. I can't.
And your doctor wants you to start cutting back on the steroids, but we were saying you were talking before we got on the call here. You're a little bit nervous to cut back, are you?
Yeah, because if those headaches come back, I'm gonna have to rush myself to the ER because there's no way I can deal with it. I can't. That 7 days was the hardest 7 days of my entire life. And then after finding out what was causing it, that made it even more difficult. So I'm like, I don't want to go back to that headache part. Like whatever I got, I don't know. I just can't deal with that.
Yeah.
I need a little
And
bit of a break.
yeah, and it sounds like you're going to have to wait a little bit to, you've got an appointment. Do you all ready to go back for your
Yeah,
MRI? MRI, is it?
yeah, I have to get a CAT scan of my body before, but then he wants me back, I guess, in 6 weeks to take an MRI with contrast, which they put the dye through your veins, and I guess that'll give him a better idea if there's an actual tumor there growing, or
Somewhere else in your body.
or yeah, or whatever the case may be. I mean, like, this is all new to me. I've never even had to think about my health, honestly. I mean,
Mm.
the worst thing I'll do is like throw a little muscle, and that would be it. But yeah, so this is all new to me. I'm trying to cope with it. I don't know if I'm doing it the right way. I don't know if I feel like I'm as good as I could be, for now. But I just scared of the future. It puts a pause button on your future. I like feel like I just became the man I wanted to be the last 10 years. I found a woman that I'm in love with, and I want to have kids and get married. And it's like she knows what's going on. And it just kind of puts like a little weird thing in between that, and it's just pauses my future. And I just want to be able to be okay. And I don't know. It's
Well,
just
I mean, I've never gone through anything like what you're going through, but I mean, I guess the only thing I would say is, it's been a week and, they're pushing you off to 6 weeks, so they must feel that, you know, it's something that they're going to be able to deal, like hopefully they'll be able to deal with it. I guess the
yeah,
big thing for you is, probably the stress of, not having insurance. And I live in Canada where, I mean, we have a good healthcare system. I could go, and if there's something wrong, like I don't have to pay for anything out of our pocket. But I know the US has a great healthcare system, but you got to pay for it, right? So I guess
right.
that's got to be a big worry for you too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, constantly. Sorry about the noise. Yeah, that that is the big thing. I was in between gutter jobs of the first year. I was gonna put 2 weeks in, but I ended up getting let go in the middle of the job. I guess the guy didn't like the idea of me putting my 2 weeks in, and so I had like a 2 week break between Christmas. Really put stress on myself already, and being healthy and not thinking I didn't need insurance, and then it just hits you all at once. And it's not like my bills. I mean, I'm working right now, but it's not like those bills stop.
Yeah,
And then now I have all these new bills that are going to be coming in, which have already started to come in.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's just added stress to, like, I just want to if I could make sure that one thing was a little easier to deal with, it would make the other easier to deal with. And yeah, it's just, I'm actually working on trying to get insurance now, but a lot of the places I've been finding out that you got to be, they know what's going on with me. And you know, they don't want to cover someone that already has this pre-existing
Yeah.
condition for 12 months. And that scared me alone, the 12 months. Like, I don't know. But I mean, I'm trying to work on something. I've been talking to a lot of people, and I guess there's some programs I can get into to help relieve that. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's just so much at once. Like this is like day 10. So it's just so much different angles of information and things that I'm trying to process. It's quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, and I guess that's one of the reasons why we got hooked up because, last year at GutterCon, we had someone involved, actually our MC, the fellow that MC'd our event. He had a charity that he worked with. So it made it very easy for us at GutterCon to get behind his charity. And I can't remember the charity's name, but he's a Chuck who's going to be at GutterCon this year, who was our MC. He's a comedian, and he also teaches business for comedians at his local college.
Oh wow.
So, being a comedian is a business. You have to,
Yeah.
line up work, and you have to advertise, you have to get paid, you have to, it's a little business of your own. So, he and I got hooked up, and, we like talking about business stuff. I talk about gutters. He talks about being a comedian. But he did have this charity, and every job that he does, a part of his job goes to this charity. And the charity that he supports, like I said, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a very local charity in Denver, Colorado, where we had our first GutterCon. And what he does is, or what the charity does, is they help students. So if a student is in school and their computer breaks down and they need a new computer, or their phone breaks, I mean, simple necessities to life,
Yeah.
or just to get through life. It might be, maybe short, maybe their part-time job isn't bringing in enough and they need to just a little bit more money to pay for that rent or that power bill or phone bill or whatever. And that's
Yeah.
what they do. They help students. So planning for 2023 GutterCon, we were kind of, looking for something. And lo and behold, we saw a GoFundMe page on one of the gutter groups on Facebook. And that's how you and I connected. Well, I should say you, myself and your girlfriend Samantha connected. And I just thought, what a great opportunity to help another gutter guy. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was when Sam told me about you and you contacted me, it sent chills down my spine because we were talking about me being Canadian and you're from Canada, and you're a gutter guy and you're coming down to my basically hometown to do GutterCon.
yeah,
It seemed just so right, and it's like I feel so blessed. But just to meet you, I mean, I'm excited to go to GutterCon, and I'm excited to
yeah.
meet a
Well,
bunch of people.
that's so you're coming to GutterCon. We've invited you to come along. I hope Sam's coming too, right?
Oh yeah, she'll be there
Yeah. So, and I definitely talk to your boss too, because I definitely I certainly like to meet him.
for sure.
And, we're going to get behind your GoFundMe page. And I guess you don't really know what's in your future right now. And
Yeah.
the GoFundMe page, after speaking with Samantha and yourself, I mean, really, it's all about having a little bit of a cushion there. And I'm just going to speak for you here. I think the big thing is you need to be able to take some time off of work to get to your medical appointments. That's priority, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is say, oh, I can't take time off work because I can't afford to take time off work. So you need to be able to take time off work to get to your medical appointments. You need to pay for your medical appointments and medication and whatever else comes along with that, I guess, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I mean, I hope that this all ends for you in 6 weeks, but you just can't count on that. I mean, you really have to kind of plan for the worst in some ways, don't you?
Yeah, that's one of the most difficult parts, that not knowing, and
Yeah.
and trying to plan for the not knowing is, so it's almost impossible. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a link in this episode today for your GoFundMe page. So I'm going to share this interview. Of course, it's going to go out on our GutterCon Facebook page, and I always share it with other gutter Facebook pages. There's 6 or 7 that I usually share my little podcast interviews with. And this is going to go out to, thousands of other gutter guys in the business, installers, business owners, lots of people that are in the gutter business or in the gutter industry. So I would just encourage anyone, it might only be $5, $10, $20, whatever you can do, to click the button and do what you can for John and Samantha here. And we're going to bring it to GutterCon, and we'll try to promote your cause a little bit there too, and give you whatever support we can give you. So, I can't imagine what you're going through, but I hope what we're doing here is going to help you a little bit, and a little bit less stress in your life.
Well, Bren, I mean, I cannot thank you enough for reaching out. I mean, it seems so surreal, and I mean, I think you're my angel from Canada.
Yeah,
I really do. I really
I've never
do.
been called that before.
Yeah, you're my angel from Canada, I believe. And I mean, just the fact you reaching out and showing that, there are people out there that care, it that alone makes me feel so loved and gives me motivation to try to stay positive and not, just push on and see, whatever comes my way. But
Mm.
I can't thank you enough,
No,
Brandon. Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
And I guess I should say this about the gutter industry too. I mean, we're a pretty rough bunch of guys sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Gutter guys, roofers, it's a pretty rough industry, right? But
Oh yeah. Cut up hands. Hands are always
yeah,
cut up.
yeah, mine aren't so rough anymore, but I know everyone listening to this is getting what I'm saying. So, but there's a lot of good gutter guys out there with hearts, and I think everyone's going to get behind this. So I just hope this works. So listen, I'm so excited about meeting you and Samantha next week, and you're going to come to GutterCon. We got a place for you to stay. We're going to feed you for the weekend, and I hope you guys get a lot. I hope you get a lot out of coming to the convention. And like I said, I hope your boss comes along too. I'd love to meet him too.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet you personally, and I'm very excited to meet all these other gutter guys. It's gonna be
Hey,
great.
yeah, no, I'll tell you, just from last year, we had such a good group of people that got together. They all wanted to be there. And, there's lots of haters out there. Oh, what is this all about? I'm going to spend this much. I'm not going to spend that money to go listen to some garage door guy. But, it's just hanging out with like-minded people. And,
Right.
it's doubled in size this year. It's over double the size. So we're really excited about it. And we're excited about being in Florida too. At least I
Oh,
am, because it's been cold, cold, cold up here this week.
it's nice and warm down here. You'll love it.
I'm bringing my mom down. I texted her the outlook for the week for weather, so it's all nice and sunny, 70s all week.
Pool days every day.
Pool days. Well, listen, okay, great. Good chatting with you today, John. I'm sure you and I will be chatting in the next couple of days, but going to see you on Thursday at the meet and greet, and there'll be 200 other gutter guys and gals here to meet you too. So can't wait to meet you in person.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay, good.